On this side of the room, we have sort of two opposite ends of the spectrum. The orange car you see is pretty unmistakable. Everybody says, "Oh, look, it's a Delorean." Not a Delorean. A few years before that, starting about 1967-68, Mercedes Benz decided that it was time to do something a little bit different. They wanted to try out a new development car, and that's what the original purpose of this was a test and development car for new technology. A lot of the features on this car you'll find on your car today: anti-lock brakes, independent front and rear suspensions, a little bit more advanced technology-wise. Plastic fuel tanks. This was a new concept. They were trying out plastic fuel tanks. They're mounted right beside your legs, so they did new crash testing, and they ran rocket sleds into the side of them and crashed them and see what happens to the plastic, and found that it was very, very durable material to use, and started using plastic later on. It does have all sealed-in windows, so instead of having rubber that's mounted into the glass, this has an actual sealed-in and glued-in, and that's the technology that we use today for all of our windshield technology. So a lot of things on this car were very, very innovative and strange. The most innovative part of this car is the rotary engine. It is a 4-rotor Wankel engine. They were experimenting to see if this would be a viable technology for production cars. As we know, rotary engines are terrible on fuel consumption. These cars, right before the gas crisis, wasn't really a concern. You could get fuel at a reasonable price, so the fuel consumption was a small price to pay for the power of this car. 186 miles an hour, 1969-70, pretty dramatic change. I always tell people to visualize what Detroit and everybody was doing in 1969 and 70. Think of the Camaro, think of those types of cars. So this was a far departure from that, this very wedge-shaped design. It is a fiberglass hybrid chassis. It's got a steel section underneath, but fiberglass over that. Very rare. They only made about 11 cars total. They made some with 3 rotors, and then this one is the 4-rotor as well. This was probably the most refined version of it, but you can still tell it's a prototype. Not everything, the finish is not perfect. They built these cars in about 6 months, so they were very, very quick and crude in some ways. If you turn on the lights, they pop up, and it looks like they pulled them off the line from the truck department. It's these big glass, ugly things. So it's just whatever, sometimes it's whatever's laying around that works is what gets in the car. They did go on to make another version of this, and they used a 5-cylinder turbo diesel engine out of the production 300 series diesels. That car, they went close to 200 miles an in with a diesel. So they were really pushing the envelope of what was acceptable with diesel technology. These cars were very, very hot, so what they did is they added a cooling fan switch external to the car, so as the car was being run at Hockenheim in the pits, they could come around and they could shut down the car and then just turn it on and off externally. They didn't have to get in and turn the car on and wait for the cooling fans to shut on and off. So that's what that little relay switch does.